Metro Exodus.
The Helsing.
The Helsing is a crossbow that you get in the taiga level. It is kind of like the primary weapon in the taiga forest level, because essentially what happens in the beginning of the taiga forest is you lose all of your gear and weapons and essentially start from scratch. And the first weapon you get is the Helsing. So the Helsing is in the other games, except it is a lot different. It has kind of like 6 or 8 barrels, and it shoots steel rods. In Metro Exodus, it is a crossbow. There are upgrades that can make it like the previous Helsing. The pneumatic bow system, which is an upgrade you can get about like halfway through the taiga forest level, can make it so that the Helsing shoots much faster and it needs pumped, kind of how like the Helsing works in the previous games. In this game, you have a loaded bolt, and RTM has to pull the crossbow string back and knock it on like a release, and then you have to like shoot to fire it, like you would expect for a crossbow. The only way that this like functionality is different is if you have increased ammo size, like increased ammo clip, which allows him to like load a second or third or onward bolt. Like you can load, I think, up to 8. So there's like a clip that has like 8 round magazine. So, and this is at the cost of stability, of course. So I would say the best one is probably the medium magazine, the 3 bolt magazine. So you can shoot 3 shots, and he just has to re-knock the crossbow instead of completely reloading it. So that's definitely the better option. You can play this on New Game Plus, even if you don't have it equipped. You can also, on New Game Plus, use your last 3 equipped weapons. So if you want to replay the game on Ranger Hardcore mode with New Game Plus, this can be a fun weapon to use the entire time, especially if you have the extended clips. So this weapon is quite powerful. One of the big upsides to it is that it is silent like the Tikhar. The only downside to this weapon is that while ammo can be extremely efficient, assuming you always collect it, if you miss shots or if you shoot outside of where you can collect ammo, you're going to lose that ammo. So while the ammo is reusable and generally the most efficient ammo in the game, assuming you almost never miss, it can be quite expensive to run in the long term, especially on New Game Plus, if you continually miss. However, let's assume you recover like 70% of your shots. It's still quite an efficient weapon. Bolts cost 10 metal to craft, which isn't too bad considering they're reusable, so it's like a throwing knife. This weapon is really good with throwing knives because throwing knives are silent, and if you're just using the single bolt clip, you can throw a knife and then shoot a guy, which I've actually done already in this like video. I'm about to do it in like a minute or so in this clip. I like throw a knife at a guy on the couch and then shoot him. So it combos really well with silent weapons like the throwing knife. There's also an alternate ammo type, the explosive bolts. These do a crap ton of damage. Like, you will be one-shotting most meaty beasts with these, with the exception of like bosses. I don't know that they one-shot gargoyles, but they probably can kill them in a few like explosive bolts. They one-shot the tankier shrimps, even on Ranger Hardcore mode. So explosive bolts are a big value. You can save them for boss enemies. Another thing to note about the weapon is a shot on an unaware foe, including a watchman, to the body will generally one-shot them, so not even a headshot. So if you get a body shot when enemies are unaware of you, it will deal scaled damage, and you will one-shot any humanoid, with the exception of the minigunners that have armor, and most watchmen, and definitely ghouls. So as long as enemies are unaware of you, you can one-shot them. If they are aware of you, you can one-shot headshot them. It's generally a good idea to go for headshots if you can. So in this clip, I have some upgrades. I have the twin bow, which scales your damage. I have the, I think, 8-round clip or 6-round clip in this one. And I also have explosive bolts, so you can kind of get a feel for the power of an upgraded Helsing. So if you're going to do New Game Plus with this, it actually might be quite easy. I like whiff a few shots here because I'm like not really used to the terrain. Like, I just got in this area, my footing's a little off, but I kind of get control of the situation in like a few seconds. Like, I think I miss a thing as it leaps at me because it kind of comes out of nowhere. Yeah, like right here. I haven't used, I haven't fought any of these melee shrimps until just now at this point in this playthrough, so I didn't know that they like, their whole head moves and they swing at you. But you can kind of see here I'm making quick work of them. with these explosive bolts. You just have to get some distance and they're easy kills. But they're quite powerful. This is in Ranger Hardcore mode too, so if you do New Game Plus with this weapon, it's quite insane. You can always throw a scope on it and use it like a sniper rifle. Some final notes. If you want to use the pneumatic system, which allows you to shoot more rapidly, you'll be dealing less damage per bolt, and the bolts won't be as fast. If you use the compound bow or the twin bow upgrade, it increases the velocity of the bolts themselves, which is extremely useful for sniping and for general consistency when using the weapon. So if you find that the bolts are too slow, you are likely better off just using the twin bolts with like a clip. Like honestly, the weapon with a clip is quite good, so I actually prefer the twin bow upgrade. But aside from that, that's it for this video. If you like Metro content, definitely like this video and subscribe. I'm going to be making more of it. I'm also going to be covering the other Metro games and all the weapons, and eventually doing a tier list for Metro Exodus with all the weapons and items. So thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you in another video.